everybody, it's Yoko back with another video. Thank you guys for coming back. As you can see from the title, we are doing another author spotlight, and today's author that is featured is Campbell and his book, The Factor, When Death Before Dishonor is Tested. You can find all of Sim's information about how to get this book down in the description box. Before we get into the book, if you're not subscribed to my channel, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button now and become a part of the Yoko Experience. Also, don't forget to hit that little bell notification button so you'll always be notified every time I upload. Now, let me read the back of the book. So, the main character of this book name is Turrell. His real name is Terrell Cole, but hopefully I'm saying his last name correctly. And Turrell is one of the biggest street hustlers in New York City. He's both respected and well feared, but when he's forced to choose between staying true to his street morals or risk the freedom of his mother, Turrell is placed in a dilemma that he never anticipated. Will Turrell make it out with his dignity or fall victim to the federal government's tactics? In the game of chess, one must outthink his opponent and stay 10 steps ahead. Will Turrell be able to outthink his enemies or be checkmated? Now, before I read the book, I didn't even read the back of the book. So while reading the book, I definitely figured out that the theme of this book is about chess. To me, Turrell, who is the main character, he is the king of the chessboard, basically. He is the top dog. You know, Turrell is a drug lord. He runs a drug organization in New York City. He's like the head of all the bosses in each borough. And his lady, whose name is Vanessa, they've been dating for about 1.5 years now. He's proposed to her and everything. He's really in love with her. Come to find out, she is an undercover federal agent. Yes. For a whole 1.5 years, Turrell did not know that this woman was a federal agent. And the night that he proposed to her is a night that he was infiltrated by her and the police come in and take him. Of course, Turrell feels so deceived by her. Like, you could see the hurt in his eyes. Like, the way that Sim wrote the book, that you could read how betrayed he felt by Vanessa. And in that moment, Vanessa felt it for, I feel like, the first time that she was an undercover agent. And the reason why she felt so bad about it is because within this 1.5 years, she had really fallen in love with Turrell. And of course, that was never the goal, to actually fall in love with this man. Her goal was to come in and do her job, get this drug dealing drug lord off of the streets, but she never knew that she would actually fall in love with him. Vanessa's real name is Crystal Tyson, but I'm going to continue to call her Vanessa because that's what Sim continues to call her in the book. When she's talking to the other federal agents, of course, they call her by her real name, Crystal, but I'm just going to call her Vanessa. When Turrell is brought into the investigation room, the federal prosecutor of the Eastern District, Gerald Hyman, comes in. Instead of him just asking Turrell about his drug organization, he kind of tries to make a deal with Turrell because they have also arrested Turrell's mom. They want Turrell to give up his whole drug organization, but of course, Turrell, being a real nigga, he's like, it's death before dishonor. I'm not giving up anybody. I don't know what type of time y'all think I'm on. I don't know who y'all think that I am, but I'm not no snitch ass bitch. And Gerald Hyman basically said, okay, if you don't want to snitch, then we're going to take your mom. So they tell him that they have his mother and that they will basically give his mother all this time because Turrell has his mother's name under properties that he owns and stuff like that. And the district attorney knows that Turrell's mom is a nurse and she's only making about $40,000 a year, and he knows that she cannot afford all this property on her own. So he tells him, either you give up your organization or your mother's going down for a lot of years, and at her age, all the years that we give her, she's probably gonna die in prison. So with that being said, Turrell will basically do anything to keep his mother out of prison because he knows that his mother has nothing to do with his drug organization. Gerald puts that out there and they let Turrell go. Now, Vanessa feels bad because, like I said, she has fallen in love with Turrell and come to find out that she's actually pregnant by Turrell, but she hasn't told him that yet. Gerald and the other agents bring Vanessa into their office and tells her that she did such a great job by infiltrating the organization, but they kind of realize that they're not getting the reaction out of Vanessa that they want, that, you know, that she's happy that she took down this drug lord that has been poisoning the community. They realize that, you know, she actually has a soft spot for him, and she might have, which she actually has, fallen in love with him. So they told her, like, you know, your assignment is over, we're gonna send you away. And she's like, you know, you guys can't do that to me. They're basically playing with this girl's life now. So instead, they're like, okay, we don't want you to leave. Instead, we want you to go back in, and we want you to get Too Real to trust you again, so we can keep an eye on him to see if he actually gives us the other bosses information. Now, to me, I felt like they were playing with this girl's life, because Too Real already knows that she is a federal agent. Why would you put her back into this world knowing that he knows who she is? I feel like they were putting her life in jeopardy, and they're playing with her life basically. But that's what the government gets into. It's like, we don't care. We just want to get our man, and everybody else is expendable basically. Now, Too Real also has his own crew who consists of Blue, Ice, Hype, and he has Deceive. Deceive is also a drug dealer. She took over her brother's bankrolls, his spot when he was murdered, and she has her own little crew who consists of Toshiba, Sonia, and Man. And Sonia is the girlfriend to Bankroll, which is Deceive's brother. Deceive is basically one of the bosses. Now, Deceive is the other queen on the chessboard to me, because come to find out, Deceive is secretly in love with Too Real, and she doesn't like Vanessa. But the crew and other bosses do not know that Vanessa is an undercover agent. Too Real keeps this information to himself until he knows what he's gonna do to keep his mother out of jail. He doesn't want to tell the crew yet because he knows that they will try to kill Vanessa, and Too Real still is in love with her. Vanessa decides to tell Too Real that prosecutors and other agents want her to keep an eye on him to see if he is going to give them the information that they need. Too Real is still trying to figure out if he wants to trust Vanessa, because she already betrayed his trust, but he really does love her, and Vanessa has told him that she is pregnant with his child. Now, Too Real grew up without his father. His father was never in his life, and so now this information about her being pregnant with his baby is kind of putting a wedge in the plan that he kind of made up in his head, because he doesn't want his child to grow up without him, because he know how it is to grow up without a father. Too Real wants to be a dad, but he doesn't want to bring his child into this lifestyle that he lives of, you know, drug dealing and running and gunning basically. But he doesn't want to leave Vanessa on her own with this baby, but she did betray him, so he's between like a rock and a hard place with that. Now, Deceive has a birthday party, and she invites everybody in the city. It's this big extravagant party for her 28th birthday, and during this party, basically Deceive kind of confessed to Too Real that she really loves him, and they wind up having sex. But during the whole time that they're having sex, Too Real could only think about Vanessa. So that's why I'm saying, like, Too Real is the king on the chessboard, and Vanessa and Deceive are fighting for that queen position. Now, everybody else on the chessboard to me are pawns. They're expendable. They can be taken out of the game with the quickness. It's this guy named Cruddy. Cruddy and his crew are like stick-up men or takers, and he has a crew that consists of 4 women and 4 men. The men are Slice, Bang Out, Deranged, and Wolf, and the girls in the group are China, Egypt, Cocaine, and Baby Doll. Baby Doll is like his bottom bitch basically. They all have their own kind of different exotic looks to them. Basically their names kind of go with how they look. Now, his crew only robs people that are in the game. They use the girls as bait to lure in these ballers and hustlers and drug dealers, and then the guys rob them. Cruddy and his crew are at Deceive's birthday party, and they're scoping out new targets. The girls are looking at guys, and you know, they scope out targets by how, you know, people dress, and just hearing about names in the game. So Cocaine scopes out this one guy, and he happens to be one of the bosses that are in Too Real's organization. So Cocaine sets her eyes out on him, and she's basically gonna get him to trust her and give him all the information about Too Real's crew. Now, I don't know what Cruddy's kind of issue with Too Real is. Maybe it's jealousy, and he knows that Too Real is really getting money, and he has his hands throughout the whole city, and he's jealous. So he wants to take Too Real down basically and just rob him and his whole organization. Now, after the C's birthday party, Vanessa comes to visit Too Real and basically apologizes to him about setting him up, and she tells him how she really wanted to pull out of the mission when she realized how much she was in love with him. And of course, Too Real, being a real nigga, he's not trying to hear that. But then when Vanessa reveals that they want her to keep an eye on him, he uses that to his advantage. So he's like, basically like, okay, they want her to keep an eye on me, I'm gonna have her tell me all the information that they keep telling her so I could stay 10 steps ahead. Now, like in the summary of the book, this is a chess game. In chess, you always want to stay 10 steps ahead of your opponent. Now, even though Too Real doesn't trust Vanessa, he needs Vanessa to keep him 10 steps ahead of the government. Now, Too Real does love her, and like I said, she's pregnant by him, so he's considering that, but also he cannot fully trust Vanessa because she has betrayed him. So now that he knows it's snakes in his organization, he has to keep his eyes and his ears open and stay 10 steps ahead of all his opponent, which is, I guess, the government or the federal agents, the district prosecutor and stuff like that. And in the meantime, Baby Doll, who's a part of Cruddy's crew, she has her eyes set on another guy named Jerry. Now, Jerry happens to be the son of Burgle, and Burgle is Vanessa's superior. Now, Jerry, being a fuck up himself, he brings Baby Doll to his father's house, and being a show off that he is, he shows Baby Doll his father's safe that has jewelry, money, probably a gun in there. And Baby Doll, being a girl of the streets, and you know, she's very street smart, she memorizes the safe number, and as she's seducing Jerry and stuff like that, she gets him to let her tie him up and blindfolds him. She brings in Wolf and Bang out, and they beat the shit out of him. Basically, they open up the safe and they take everything out of the safe. Jerry is a fucking idiot. I don't know why the guys in these books, not only just this books, but other books that I've read, when it's always a fucking idiot in the book that trusts people too fast, and Jerry is one of them. Why would you bring this girl that you just met to your father's house, show her the safe where your father keeps money, jewelry, and all type of stuff in there, and it's just like mad willy-nilly to me? Like, I don't understand. Like, you're setting yourself up basically. So they steal all the stuff out of the safe, but little did Jerry know his father Burgle had a small camera in the safe. When his father finds him tied up 3 days later, all beat up, he done peed and shitted and everything because he's been tied up for 3 days, he reviews the tape and sees Baby Doll's face because she opened the safe, and she sees Wolf's face, but he couldn't see Bang Out's face. And so now he is set out to find this girl and lock her up basically for robbing him and beating his son's ass. Keep that in mind. Now, Cruddy has this guy named Tito who owns a jewelry shop, but also he's part of like the black market where you trade off jewelry and guns and stuff like that for money. So they use Tito's shop to get rid of the jewelry and stuff that they just had stolen. Tito is another pawn in the book. Wolf, Tito, Baby Doll, Cocaine, they're all pawns on this board. They're not big players, but they do play a part in the story. Now, Cruddy's background is he's the son of a pimp, so he has this pimp mentality. That's why I feel like he's able to get these girls to do everything that he wants. And not only the girls, I feel like he was pimping the guys, not literally pimping the guys, but he used that pimp mentality on the guys and the girls to get them to do whatever he wants, because Cruddy for the most part, he never really got his hands dirty. Everybody else did all the dirty work for him, which makes him a lame ass nigga to me. Now, I don't know chess too well, so I don't know what position Cruddy would be, but he definitely plays a big position on the chessboard in this book. Now, Too Real has something up his sleeve where he's gonna flip the script on everybody. Now, the overall theme that kept coming up in the book to me was not only chess, but it's that everybody thinks the street life is so sweet because the money is very fast, but it's a lot of bullshit that comes with being in the street life. You always got to look over your shoulder. You always have to wonder who's being truly loyal to you, because you never know who could be cooperating with the police. Being loyal will get you fucked up in the game. It don't matter how loyal you are, you can still get caught up. Now, I want to read like a certain passage in the book where chess is actually mentioned in the book, and it's on page 71 when Gerald is talking to Brody, and Brody is one of the other agents, and Brody is asking him, why are you giving her so much leeway? She's just a rookie. Gerald's entire demeanor changed as he took a light deep breath, suppressing the urge to lash out at Brody. He responded with his back still turned. Never question my judgment. I'll explain it to you one time. Are you familiar with the game of chess? Yes, I know how to play chess. Well, this is the real life version. Agent Tyson is just a pawn on my team, but she's his queen. His greatest asset is the greatest weakness because of the value that will be placed on her. Like I said, Too Real, she's the queen on his chessboard, but to Gerald Hyman, Vanessa is expendable. She's just a pawn on his board. He doesn't care about her. He doesn't care what happens to her, and that's why I'm saying he's playing with this girl's life. Another ongoing theme in the book is death before dishonor. You are truly loyal to people, you will die for them before you dishonor them. You will die for them before you be disloyal to them, and that's where Deceive, I feel, comes in. Deceive is very loyal to Too Real, but she doesn't feel like Too Real is loyal to her. Now, with that being said, all of Too Real's people's houses and apartments get raided, and they take everybody. They take Blue, they take Hype, they take Ice, they take Toshiba, they take Deceive, they take Man. They all take them down to the precinct. Now, this raid was led by Vanessa, and like I said, Vanessa is still playing the fence. She's working for the police, but also she's still on Too Real's side and giving him information about what's going on the police side. Now, Vanessa, during her time dating Too Real, she had always kind of envied Deceive, because she knew if the shoe was on the other foot, that Deceive would have rather died than ever turn on Too Real. Deceive and Vanessa are definitely built differently. Deceive is a girl, like, she grew up on the streets and stuff like that. She knows how the game goes. She is definitely used to this type of lifestyle. Her loyalty to Too Real would never be broken, and Vanessa knew this. Now, Vanessa, on the other hand, is not built for this lifestyle at all. She's always been on like the good side of the law. And before meeting Too Real, she probably thought that people like Deceive and Too Real were like scum because they are like poisoning people of their community. But as she got to know Too Real, like, he changed her whole perspective on things. Too Real has this guy on the inside named Mikey, and Mikey could get any information on anybody. So he asks Mikey to get all the information he can on Gerald Hyman, because he's going to use Gerald's tactics against him. So since Gerald wanted to get all this information on Too Real's going to get all the information he can on him. Now, it's multiple snitches, it's multiple people cooperating with the police, and it's like, damn, is anybody loyal to anybody in this book? Overall, everybody is in it for themselves. Nobody is loyal to anybody in this book. Maybe Vanessa, towards the end, she really was loyal to Too Real, but that's really the only person besides like Blue and Hype and Ice. They were really truly loyal to Too Real, but everybody else, for the most part, they was in this shit for themselves. So I think I'm gonna leave it right there, because I don't want to give you guys too much information about the book. But overall, I really enjoyed the book. I think Sim did a phenomenal job writing this book. The pacing of the book was very good. It got straight to the point. The theme was very solid. ended. And Sim wrote in the book multiple times that the book is about chess. There's a whole chess piece on the front of the book, so that's how you know that the book was about chess. Also realized that it was kind of a domino effect in the book as well. It was easy to follow. Like, I really felt like I was watching a movie. Sim, I want to thank you for sending me this book. I really appreciate it, and I really hope that you continue the series, because the way that the book ended, there definitely could be another book, because I would like to know what happened to Cruddy and his crew. I also want to know what's gonna happen between Too Real and Vanessa and the baby, so I want you to keep me posted on that. Also, I'm gonna put right here Sim's website where you can get the factor from. So I want you guys to pick this book up and let Sim know that Yoko sent you guys to his website. Alright, you guys, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. I really would appreciate it. If you want to see more author spotlights, hit that thumbs up button. If you want to be featured on my channel in the author spotlight, all the information will be down in the description box. I'll also probably have it somewhere on the screen. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.